Hey guys, welcome to another review. Today I'm going to be reviewing the newest episode of Fear the Walking Dead, Season 2, Episode 7, Shiva. I didn't bother looking up what this one meant. I mean, I know it's the name of a tiger from the comics of The Walking Dead, but I don't know if it has anything to do with this episode. My guess is it doesn't, so I just didn't even bother looking it up because none of these names or titles of these episodes ever match up with the episode themselves. So, to start off, let me just get into my general ranking for this episode out of 1 to 10. I'm going to give it 4 out of 10. Now, really, I do dislike this episode a lot, but I'm going to give it a little bit of higher ranking because it does move the plot forward a bit-ish, and it does have some slight interesting stuff in it, but the fact that it's wasted potential stuff kind of takes away from what it was. So it's just overall not a good episode, but 4 out of 10 is fairly generous. I mean, perhaps a little too generous, but we'll just leave it at that. Okay, so to start off, we see Salazar's dream. He's having some weird dream where he's remembering himself as a kid and he had to shoot a guy. But then we find out that that's a dream within a dream. And the dream that he's having here is he hears a gunshot, jumps up, he and Ophelia go outside and it's nighttime, and then she's like peeling her face off. Which, I mean, it was obviously a dream as soon as you see what's going on. You're like, it's a dream sequence. So that means it was a dream sequence within a dream sequence. Very, very well done, yes. Oh, amazing. They shocked us, right? No, that was terrible. And then we just see throughout the episode, Salazar just has a decrease in his sanity and he becomes completely insane to the point where he's trying to kill people for no reason, and then he's seeing his dead wife, and then just like, really, he's gone to nutso cuckooville. And if his character is still alive, which the ending of this episode left it kind of ambiguous, so I think his character is still alive, but let's just say if he is, I'm wondering if he's going to be, like, insane for the rest of the time that we have with him. Probably, because no one does something that insane and then just goes right back to being normal, right? There's something wrong with him. Now, it might be that he was poisoned. I don't know. They kind of made it seem like there was possibly something in the food, but I don't think so. It's just him going crazy, perhaps. I don't know. I didn't, like, go deep into the episode and make sure of every little fact, but yeah, that right there, I just left it up in the air. So that's pretty much the Salazar story from the beginning there. We see what happened after Chris pulled that crap. We see that he just ran away, and now Travis is chasing after him, and he chases after Chris apparently throughout the entire night, and we see him walking in the daytime very normally. Keep seeing these dead zombies that Chris took out all by himself, apparently, which is ridiculous because previous episode he couldn't lift a spoon by himself, but whatever. We'll accept that, right? Just for the sake of the episode and to move on. Then Travis finally gets to this place, and we see suddenly he's limping. I'm not sure why. I guess it's because he was walking a long time, but then when he gets in there and sits down, you see he had no shoes on. If you're going to go chase after someone, wouldn't the first thing you do be putting on shoes? I mean, you're not going to get far if you don't have shoes, right? I mean, Travis is an idiot. That's all that this episode has taught us with him. He's just proven further and further how dumb he is. Okay, so he gets to this cabin, we meet this new guy, and then they waste our time with this. There was no real reason to draw this out as long as they did, but apparently he figures out that the dude actually does speak English, and that his son is actually hiding in another room with this guy's son, captive, with some gun that I don't know where he got this gun from, but he's holding the kid under gunpoint, and then when the father, Travis, finally gets the gun from him, he goes running. Travis is able to take him down, and Chris tries to kill him, but Travis just keeps he keeps giving him these chances. It's ridiculous. He tried to kill Alicia, and then he's trying to kill this kid. It's just obvious at this point that he is just too far gone. if this were a sane show, they would probably just kill him off and get rid of our troubles with him. But they don't do that, and this was sort of wasted potential here. I felt like this could have been an interesting contretemps right here, having Chris the enemy for an episode, having the father having to take down his son. Instead, he's just, he needs a little alone time with his daddy. Okay, well, that was a waste of our time. Now I guess they're going to come back at some point and it's going to be fine. Everything's going to be fine. That's real great. Yeah, thanks for wasting our time, writers. These writers, they're really bad. The actors are bad. Really, honestly, I mean, I say this almost every time, but this show has nothing to it. The only reason I'm watching it is for viewing purposes and because I already bought the season. So I'm just right now sitting back and enjoying the stupidity so that I can spew it back out onto my reviews. Okay. Celia made Nick into the worst person on earth now. Nick is just one of those people who are in love with the walkers, and that's ridiculous. Nick is now a ruined character. That sucks. And something I noticed in this episode is, did you notice something really weird? It's when Nick is taking that shower outside, he's got like just the tank top on, and we don't know, I guess like he had his underwear on, but then it seems like not so much, because when he's talking to his mom, go back and check this yourself, you see him pulling up something, so you'd assume that was his pants, right? And he pulls up something else. So was he standing naked from the bottom down with his mom right there? I mean, yeesh. That's what it seems like from the way they did, unless he wears 3 layers of pants or something. Just really bad directing. Everything in this episode seemed a bit rushed. Like, Salazar slipping into insanity was just like, he's okay 1 second, boom, he's insane. Everything, oh, crazy, woo! It's just like totally, where did that come from? And then Chris just escalates to ultimate ready to kill people apparently, even ready to kill his dad. And then Nick out of nowhere goes from sort of leaning towards Celia's position to, I believe Celia's right in every way. Sorry, Mama. Yeah, I mean, come on. This is ridiculous. They're just rushing everything so that they can, apparently this is the mid-season finale, I don't know why. I figured it was the 8th episode, but apparently not. And they're just rushing everything so that this episode will be packed full of stuff. And while it was good that it was packed full of stuff, they still managed to make it boring. With all this stuff going on, you'd figure, well, there's no way this episode could be boring. But it was extremely boring. I was bored completely. I mean, even the stuff that had interesting parts where you're like, I can watch this. That was like 5 seconds, and then it's like, okay, no, this sucks. So you get like maybe throughout the entire episode 1 minute of enjoyment in total. That's terrible, just awful. And then there's so much wasted potential. Like with the walkers, they just have them used for one scene. They didn't make them escape and go after everybody. And also, I sort of picked up on something in this episode. I've realized that all of our characters are actually the bad guys. Okay? Now get this. These are the characters that normally you would see fighting against Rick's group, right? This is like an origin story to really bad people. So, just think about it. First season, all of them, they caused the death of thousands of soldiers and like poor innocent wounded people and stuff, just so that they could get Nick out of there, out of that compound. So, in the first season, that shows that they're idiots and jerks. Second season, we see that they're willing to just do all sorts of crap, and just in this episode alone, we see how evil and destructive they are. We are following the bad guys. Nick is a terrible person. He's a drug addict. He's right now sympathizing with the walkers, and he's hanging out with Celia. It's just, we're starting to see the development of characters that are meant to be the bad guys. I mean, there's an exception with probably like Alicia and Ophelia, just because those characters aren't really developed. They're really just ditzy idiots. There's nothing else to them. They're one-dimensional. At least to this point. Maybe they'll develop throughout. Maybe they'll become the best characters. But right now, they're just nothing characters that are off the side, and everyone else is a villain. just something interesting I picked up on, that was all. Okay, so, Celia makes Strand leave because she sees that he killed her son, Zombie, and then we see when Strand's burying his boyfriend, he had his shirt off and he was a lot thicker than I thought he was. I figured Strand was like rather fit because he was always wearing these clothing that made him look slim, but he's got this belly hanging out and stuff. It's like, huh, kind of interesting. Yeesh, didn't see that. Ugh. Okay. Let's see. And Madison did not have to kill Celia in this episode. This is something that shows that Madison is a bad person. She doesn't know the stuff that we know. She didn't know that Celia killed all those church people. To her, Celia just sympathizes with the walkers, and that's it. So she could have just left and been exactly the same. But instead, she decided to kill Celia by locking her in that room full of walkers. That's just more proof that Madison alone is a bad person. And then we see Daniel Salazar, after he does all that crap and gets caught and sees his wife, he somehow is able to break loose and burns the place down. So this is ridiculous right here. He pours gasoline in like one room, that's the room with the walkers, and he sees them turn into humans that I guess he knew. And this one room is now on fire, right? And we don't know what happened to Salazar because he was just like standing in the room, so we don't know. But then next scene you see like the whole house is aflame. This is ridiculous. The house was not made out of wood, or it wasn't made out of gasoline. It was made out of like what, stucco and stuff. That stuff won't light on fire immediately unless he like walked throughout the entire house pouring gasoline and then turned on the gas on every stove and stuff. This was like a huge mansion area. You're telling me he was able to set the whole place on fire by setting this one room on fire? I mean, someone would have noticed him if he was pouring gasoline throughout, right? So this is just ridiculous. Again, another rushed thing. They were just like, you know what, we need more destruction in this episode. Let's make the whole house go on fire. How about that? Oh yeah, genius. How about having walkers as the threat in this episode, Would that be interesting? I mean, you already set up that there's walkers in one area here in a jail cell. That would be kind of interesting, right? No. Let's go with house burning up on fire for no reason and then everyone has to go their separate ways. Just because. Okay, whatever. And as far as everything else goes, there's like not much left to the episode. We just see Chris and Travis go away. They met up with Nick, and he told Nick to tell Madison that he didn't see them and he didn't find them. So we don't know what's going to go on with them, and this is apparently the mid-season finale, so we're not going to know for a few more months. Which, am I on edge for this? No. I mean, if this was The Walking Dead and the characters were all split up like this, I'd be like, wow, what's going on? But these are loser characters that I'd rather have dead, so it's just like, I don't want to see the next episode. I mean, I have to because I have to review stuff, but no, I don't want to. I don't want to, man. It's just, the show's so bad that what they think is a great cliffhanger for the next season is actually just for us. Yeah, ridiculous. Okay. Let's see. So, at the end, the place is on fire. Nick decides to stay there because of all the because I guess he decided that they are destructive, which is kind of what I picked up on, that they are the villains. And he decides to stay there and like wander among the zombies. And then Travis and Chris are going their own way. And then Madison, Strand, Ophelia, and Alicia are going their own way. And of course, that's how we're left off. It's just not a very good cliffhanger. I mean, there was no one really in danger except for Salazar, but I mean, he's either dead or not dead, and it doesn't really matter. So, no, it's just, there was nothing to this episode. I just keep looking for more, but this episode didn't have any more. It was just a nothing. It was a 4 out of 10 at best. So, tell me what you guys thought. Was this episode any good? Am I wrong? Make sure to leave a question in the comments that is TWD or FTWD related, and I will answer you in the next answers video. So, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.